Attack on Titan internet rumors, they must be true. So what's up guys, Foxen here. I do laugh, but really only to hide the pain. I was really hoping this would just go away, especially since I am working on 2 other non-Attack on Titan videos right now. But since Yonko Production tweeted about it, I've literally gotten like 100 messages at this point about it. Unfortunately, I've also seen some misinformation about this rumor since it started spreading. So let's talk about it. The Attack on Titan supposed studio change, the rumor. Emphasis on rumor. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, or don't know the full details, let me fill you in. Let me remind you before diving into this, nothing officially has been confirmed. It is completely speculation and rumors at this point. Anyway, here's the abridged version. There was a Chinese animator with a supposed connection to the Wit Studio that posted something that began this rumor wildfire. This was posted on the Weibo site or Weibo, however you pronounce it. They mentioned working on Attack on Titan Season 1 up until the current Attack on Titan season in 2019. This continued into a side discussion onto this post. One of their followers asked if this Attack on Titan season was the final one. The animator then replied that yes, this current one is the final one. Since then, people have taken this and ran with it. To be honest, just from this post, I didn't see what the big deal was. It really felt like nothing, but people started taking something super tiny and, like I said, running with it, expanding on it, taking the worst case scenario. For my personal interpretation from this, I was like, oh, assuming this guy's actually contracted by the Wit Studio, he may now just be leaving the project after 8 years. That is a huge, long time. There's also the fact that he may not know the exact details, since it seems like this guy's just a contractor anyway. On top of that, there still is a lot of room for reasonable mistranslations or miscommunication. Again, this being a post in Chinese. Even I can't read it. I know Japanese, not Chinese. So I saw this whole thing happening around midnight, and I was really hoping it would just die off since I do have the 2 non-Attack on Titan videos in production right now. And you know, the next Attack on Titan anime episode is around the corner. Unfortunately, a few hours later, you have Yonko Production tweeting about this, supposedly it being quote-unquote confirmed that Attack on Titan has been confirmed changing studios from the current Wit Studio. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Since this happened, I got exponentially more messages about this. Honestly, I do have more than a few issues about this. In case you're unfamiliar with Yonko Production, at this point online he's known as this infamous anime/manga/light novel, I think, leaker. I should emphasize that he's not always right. I mean, just looking at his track record for Attack on Titan, anyone recall the time he confirmed 24 episodes for Attack on Titan Season 3? No mention about a split, by the way. And definitely do let me know if you ever clarified on what he got wrong about this, since I really don't have the time here to sit and look through his Twitter all day. I got a business to run. For the actual Twitter claim, not only was he wrong about Attack on Titan Season 3 running for 24 episodes straight, you know, it being split in half. It later turned out that Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 was only getting 10 episodes, so 22 total. This really just means right here for Attack on Titan, he's wrong on 2 accounts on 1 tweet, or 1 supposed leak. Then some pretty recent stuff about not Attack on Titan, but One Punch Man Season 2. Recall what he mentioned about that season? That One Punch Man Season 2 would be airing in Winter Anime Season 2020. Right, you know how that turned out. And yes, you might be thinking I'm cherry picking this, but this really is only to show some recent key examples where he's been totally off, specifically for Attack on Titan. For this latest Attack on Titan studio change confirmation, he claims he has a source, supposedly regarding someone related to the Wit Studio, which I do question. I should point out there's a lot of rumors about him only reporting on Japanese rumors instead of actually having sources, although I could let you debate on that. I'm just putting it out there. Once again, there is nothing officially confirmed about Attack on Titan changing studios. There has been this question about why the Wit Studio would choose to drop Attack on Titan themselves. Let me clarify this point. And really, I see this confusion about anime production all the time. Most recently on why Madhouse dropped One Punch Man Season 2. Just to oversimplify for this video, most anime studios are really just contractors, which really means they're contracted by something called this production committee to create said anime series. This also does mean that anime studios like the Wit Studio don't get much profits, even for a super successful series like Attack on Titan, although they're still better off than something not successful. I should mention there are exceptions to this, but the Attack on Titan studio isn't one of these. The actual lion's share of the profits goes to the production committee. For the Attack on Titan production committee, that's Pony Canyon, Kodansha, Production IG, Tentsu, Memory Tech, and MBS. All of these companies at the top will be the ones actually profiting from the Attack on Titan anime, directly or indirectly. Most importantly, this production committee would be the ones to say whether there would be a studio change for Attack on Titan, and not the WIT studio. If anything, the WIT studio doesn't have almost any control over this. The only way the WIT studio would have any say into this would be if there were some extreme circumstances. Something like the WIT studio shutting down, or something really terrible like the passing away of the director. Fingers crossed nothing like this does happen. Right now, I would highly suggest waiting for official information to come out. And besides, anything official wouldn't be confirmed until way later. At earliest, maybe when the final Attack on Titan Season 3 episodes for this season drops. Perhaps even later this year, or even next year. Now, let's actually go ahead and examine this a little bit further. Is there any chance there's any validity to this? As with most things, there's actually always a chance. I would actually even say a small chance for this, at least. This Chinese animator could have accidentally leaked something that they shouldn't have. Keep in mind, there are NDAs about this type of stuff, and I definitely wouldn't want to be them right now if they in fact did accidentally tweet something wrong, or accidentally post this on the Chinese blog. That would be like a heart attack on one's career. But anyway, what would happen if the WIT studio is no longer doing Attack on Titan? Are there any potential problems? First off, I should point out how many countless issues the WIT studio has had producing Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan Season 1, the production was a complete mess. A lot of the animation was outsourced, more than expected. A good chunk of the animation had to be completely redone for the Blu-ray release. Thankfully, it was actually successful enough for that to be justified. The Attack on Titan Season 2 production was also later to be announced and revealed to have been a mess too. In the actual series, you saw constant use of stills in the later half that really just gave it away. Now, most recently, you have Attack on Titan Season 3, it being split randomly last minute, and so on. And I know, a lot of you guys hate it when I bring up how the animation for Attack on Titan could be a lot better. If you watch a lot of other anime series besides Attack on Titan, this becomes pretty clear. Let me just clarify by saying that I'm not saying the Attack on Titan animation is bad, it could just be a lot better. And honestly, it should be for the second highest selling manga series. Ignoring the stills used, the animation quality for Attack on Titan really did peak in Attack on Titan Season 2. Again, let me just be clear here and say that I'm not saying Attack on Titan Season 1 or Season 2 didn't have outstanding moments, because they sure did. This Attack on Titan production as a whole really does seem to be a heavy burden for the WIT studio. This, by the way, was something that Yonko Production mentioned, although it really wasn't anything new that wasn't already known. Right now, it could be really bad for the WIT studio. Keep in mind, they are a tiny studio. The production for Attack on Titan Season 3 might be as bad as when they did Attack on Titan Season 1. The main reason being is something I echoed earlier, which is that they're working on 3 anime series at the same time. That's Attack on Titan Season 3, both of the parts, the Cabaneri movie, and the upcoming Vinland Saga anime. 24 freaking episodes on that one. Keep in mind, per episode, you do need around a month production time. And since I just saw the Cabaneri movie, I could definitely confirm they're putting their best resources on that anime instead of Attack on Titan, unfortunately. Anyway, assuming the actual studio change does happen, this could be either a positive, something more aligns with what happened recently with the Konosuba movie, or something not so good, something negative, like the now infamous mess of One Punch Man Season 2. Let me just go ahead and be Mr. Negative and address the bad part first. Here's the bad scenario. Forget about the actual studio change. I would be really worried if the Attack on Titan anime main players got changed, especially the director Araki. There is a chance that Araki and his team could move to the new studio, just moving locations. Which is actually what happened to the recent Konosuba movie. 99% the same team, just on a higher budget and a better location. However, changes like this happening for Attack on Titan are much lower. Araki himself is pretty much a key component of the WIT studio, arguably one of the most vital parts of that studio. That does make the chances of Araki and his team moving to a different studio going into the very small chances. On the flip side, a change in director is not the end of the world. SAO Alicization recently saw a change in director going into Season 3, and so far the anime adaptation has been pretty amazing, for the most part. I know some hardcore light novel readers will argue on that. Anyway, shifting into the positive side of things, I always thought Attack on Titan really deserved better for what it was. Keep in mind, Attack on Titan is this literal titan in the anime and manga world, no joke in that. Unfortunately, the WIT studio hasn't really been able to fully deliver. This has become even more apparent with Attack on Titan Season 3, where you've had some amazing quality animation here, but then other spots where it seems like they're doing the bare minimum. The Attack on Titan animation definitely peaked in Season 2. Just imagine if a new studio actually had the resources to provide high quality animation. high quality, constant animation for Attack on Titan. That would be a dream come true, something like Ufotable, Kyoto Animation, Madhouse, Bones, even A1 Studio to some extent. And I know, I'm dreaming way too big on that. Most likely a studio change would result in Production IG getting this anime. They're honestly the very obvious choice. Right now Production IG is not only in the production committee, the Wit Studio originally came from them. If I recall correctly, they even definitely helped the Wit Studio when running into some production issues for Attack on Titan Season 1. Production IG has already even worked on Attack on Titan via the Attack on Titan Junior High anime. Still, fingers crossed for a sequel on that series. Besides, it's not like the Production IG has been doing anything super amazing lately. Them just being this bigger anime studio with much more resources that has already worked on Attack on Titan would be the best outcome if they do change. In fact, in this case, I could actually see the current Attack on Titan director maybe not being the main director, but at least helping with the production. Next up is some question I've actually seen pop up. Is the Attack on Titan anime done? So at least for this, I'm pretty confident to say that the Attack on Titan anime is not in any danger. Like 99% chance at this. Again, going back to Attack on Titan being the second top selling manga, arguably competing with One Piece in many ways, there's no reason to worry at all. There's way too much money to be left on the table if they kill this off. Honestly, I'm surprised that there still hasn't been an Attack on Titan Junior High sequel. Seems like super easy money with that. The only slight negative I could see happening would be some delay, which would be in case the studio change does happen. There could be some delay just based off of the new studio having anime projects lined up for years. And really, a delay might actually be the case with the Wit Studio anyway. There could be some type of gap for Attack on Titan Season 4. Manga readers know why. The Attack on Titan manga is ending soonish, currently in the final arc. Whether it's a new anime studio or the same anime studio, they might have just waited it out. So, going back to the original question, is the Attack on Titan studio changing? Is that true or not? I would honestly suggest not losing any sleep over it. Nothing has been officially confirmed. Attack on Titan Season 4 had a good chance of being delayed or waiting until the manga is closer to completion. That way they could do one final Season 4. If that does happen, that would be at earliest like 2020, which still means quite a long time for the studio change and any actual official information to drop. If there is any truthful talk going on about a studio change, keep in mind there still is room to change that over the next 2 years, potentially not to do it. In other words, the Wit Studio could get his contract renewed for a final Attack on Titan Season 4. If you take anything away from this, just know that nothing has been officially stated by the Wit Studio, so don't worry about it right now. Even if you do stress out about it, there's nothing you could do to change it. So go ahead and post down below, do you buy this rumor? Does anyone actually want the Attack on Titan studio to change? Which studio would you want? Don't forget to smash that colossal thumbs up, subscribe, set up bell notifications, check out these past juicy anime videos, and I'll see you guys later.